How's it going? Do the famous one.
Welcome to Remembrance Day. Oh my God, to George Square.
You're early for the first time.
You're late this time for usual. You're late.
What's the story?
The story of you came late. You missed the 1 minute silence. You missed all the soldiers. But still going. The cenotaph's still there. Cenotaph's still there, eh?
Aye. So what's been going on? Eh?
I'm waiting for you all day. You must have had a late night last night. Like you normally do.
Oh, you know
you all
it
have
is.
your busy Saturday nights out.
You know it is.
Yeah, Garden remember.
Aye.
That's the same. I had all the soldiers here earlier on that, 1 minute silence, so you know, remember, British soldiers. Then we had Muslims that fought for the British War and British Army as well.
My grandfather actually was he was a captain.
Aye, that's it.
He was over in 1942, fought against the Japs.
That's it.
I actually met the Queen. The Queen came to Pakistan in 1961.
Yeah.
She actually gave him a medal for bravery.
Aye.
He actually rescued his comrades. He was on a mission.
Yeah.
And the Japs bombed his ship.
Yeah.
And he actually, a couple of soldiers died that was with him, his unit.
Yeah.
He was a captain.
Yeah.
And he actually rescued a few, in fact 3 or 4 he rescued.
Yeah.
My grandfather, so big shout out to Captain Khan.
Captain Khan, right?
He's up in heaven right now, you know what I mean?
Don't forget the Gurkhas, the Indians.
3 million Commonwealth soldiers, took part in the 2 wars.
Right, yeah, that's right.
Many from the Caribbean, many from India.
Yeah,
Obviously, there was no Pakistan then, and there was no Bangladesh because.
No India at that time.
Because this is before partition.
Right, before it was made,
Aye.
The Gurkhas, they were the soldiers.
And the Caribbean soldiers as well.
Yeah.
And then but a lot of people think it was just soldiers from England. The young generation think it was soldiers from everywhere. India, Caribbean, Commonwealth countries.
You're going to get a few racists in there, but then you don't tell them all.
It's not. I think it's just ignorance.
Yeah,
I don't think they know the history.
Yeah,
they don't know the history.
Yeah. You're always going to get a few bad ones, but you don't tar them all in the same brush with them.
So there's all
love a country that's take me in,
a garden of remembrance.
That's it. So there was a minute silence today,
It's different.
Obviously they done a minute silence in the football matches last week, and the Celtic fans, as you know, as usual, boo through it.
What happened?
Oh, Celtic were playing Dundee at Dens Park last week.
Right.
And when the 1 minute silence came, they booed through it, and they started like.
Well, there's some fans, not all.
Some still did it.
Some fans.
That's been going on all the time, So why do they have such hate against Britain?
It's a shame as well. You get a minority, and then the media when they put a report out, they always label the whole. They say fans. They don't say some fans. But I suppose it's to get sort of make it spicy. Do you know what I mean? Make it kind of the headline spicy. But I think majority of the Celtic fans were silent, but I think some fans were just rude. Some fans made the headlines in it.
Yeah. And you had the week before when Walter Smith died, they had the 1 minute silence. You had some Celtic fans at Easter Road doing through that.
Well, when Tommy Burns died, the pallbearers were Ali McCoist and Walter Smith.
That's right.
They were there with the pallbearers. So I mean, that it just goes to show you that when it comes down to it, we're all equal. Do you know what I mean? We're all one.
So we was in Manchester that day, the day before.
Aye.
Right. And Rangers got beat 2-0. There were 200,000 fans there. And the plan was whether Rangers win the cup or not, there was going to be an open top bus in Pays Road West with the trophy if they win it or without the trophy. But when the news came out that Tommy Burns had died that night, Rangers cancelled it in respect and said, well, we lost the cup anyway, right? And why should we come out and start the streets, stand in line in the streets when Tommy Burns had died? So the Rangers fans all just came back from Manchester, and then of course all the troubles in Manchester as well, which is kind of a bad name,
Aye, so
but there was when the Rangers fans came back from Manchester,
aye,
there was one Rangers supporters club, a Rangers supporters coach. They came back from Manchester right away to Glasgow. The first place they came to was Celtic Park, and they wanted to put down flowers and scarves.
I just kind of pay the respects to Tommy Burns.
Yeah.
Ready? What did he say to you?
Celtic fans, you fuck the Rangers, fuck the Toffees,
What he said?
That's how you get the hate for it, so why do you hear? So let the bad ones go away. They hate this country, why are they here? These are uneducated ones we talked about earlier that we let them in here.
Did he say fuck the poppy?
Fuck the poppies, he said.
He said, aye. I read it.
So these are the ones that would do, but it would probably boo the 1 minute silence. These are the type, you know.
I thought they were Rangers fans. They're coming up to you.
No. I mean, you don't know, but they said fuck the Rangers, fuck the poppy, and all that. You know.
Aye.
Commonwealth.
Back then it was just different. People, the soldiers and that were just built differently.
That's it.
Like, you know, you got the Commonwealth Games. Like, see, back then it was like in the subcontinent. It was they don't have it anymore. It was the Asian Commonwealth Games.
Yeah.
My grandfather actually he won a gold medal in hammer throw.
Yeah.
This was in Indonesia, 1954.
Yeah.
But they just built differently over there back then.
That's it. Everything's different now. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Nowadays you get these bodybuilders with steroids taking the protein shakes, thinking they're hard meat tough men. But the soldiers back in the fought in the wars,
they were the real ones.
They were the real ones.
They were the real ones. That's it.
And was it the Russians that actually were fighting over? Was it Russia or something? They were actually surviving. They were eating rats to survive because they had no food.
That's right.
Was that the Russians that were doing that?
They would eat anything just to survive.
They were eating rats.
Yeah. They would eat anything, and that's people.
Just survive, because they ran out of food.
That's it. Up here, people are throwing food away.
That's it. That's what I mean. Different times.
Different times, yeah. People don't understand. You know? Save the Queen. Go surrender. We are the people. Huh? That's what you're thinking of.
Don't disrespect the day. Why did I say you another day?
No, but I'm respecting the coffee, and that's all.
Respect the coffee to you.
That's just... I love my country.
No, you're disrespecting the memories of my brothers.
What happened?
What happened?
He thinks I'm disrespecting them, but there you go. You're always get people.
How?
It's probably a racist, that's it.
What did he say to you?
You're disrespecting them. How am I disrespecting them? By singing God Save the Queen, you know? Some people just can't accept a colour person singing. Well, you've got the Celtic fans there that shout and abuse us. Then you're going to get the few who are racist. You always get that 1%, don't you?
They tell you to vote?
No, I didn't say anything. It just says you're disrespecting all this. How am I disrespecting? I'm singing God Save the Queen. He doesn't like it. He's thinking, why is a colour person singing God Save the Queen? So you're going to get that 1% that don't like that. You know? So he's obviously a racist. You know...
I was giving you the eye, you know. I remember he was walking by and I was giving you a dirty look.
I thought you might have been a Celtic fan at first, but no, he's obviously, you know, just one of these racists.
Aye.
That doesn't want to see a colour person, you know. He's saying it's a publicity stunt, it's just a show thing and all that. I'm not for real and all that, but you hear all that, you know. They don't know. Let them say what they want, you know.
Right, I'm hungry, mate. Let's get some grub.
Union flag up for a change.
Union flag?
Union flag. Usually it's the Scotland flag, isn't it? But I think the Union flag should be there all throughout the year.
Definitely.
You know, but you know.
You were taking remember Belfast Town Hall?
Yeah. Even we went Belfast Town Hall. They've took the flag down.
I've been there before, so I have.
But they've took the flag down.
What have they?
They don't have it in the City Hall. Why is that? I don't understand. You know, you go to any other country, they've got the flag up, but they've got no flag. You've just got a City Hall with an empty flagpole. You know, so that's taking the British out of Britain. You know.
I went over there with Boys Brigade
Right.
to visit the peace wall and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Really interesting.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
was
Well, we were there
really
last. We were there on the 12th of July. There.
Aye.
We were in there, you know.
See, when you learn about the peace wall and stuff like that, like, it's
Yeah,
mad.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
mad.
Yeah,
Really
it's crazy.
mad.
It's crazy up there. Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is.
Up here, I don't understand. You know, when you get all these SNP Scottish people say we're not British, but they are British because their
Yeah.
passport says Britain. You know. And they don't want a union flag here, you know. They want to make it separate. This will always be Britain. We're not independents yet. I don't want to hope independence. I want to stay part of the union. You know. I mean, losing the union is like losing a family member. That's your identity.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
Or like losing an arm and a leg or something. You know, that's part of you. You're born under this flag. You know, the union flag. You want to stay that way. You know.
No, I know
But then you get people who just brainwashed with hate that SNP. Let's break up. We're always better together. You know.
I know how we do it.
You know, together's always better than being on your own. It's a fact. You know, Scotland can't survive on its own.
Yeah.
It won't survive, you know. I mean, just now they had this COP26 now. Where they get the money from? They were able to get it from the government down south, you know.
Aye.
You know, a lot of money was spent and wasted on police and all that. You know, the SNP thought, you know, well, we're not paying it for it now. They're paying for it down there, so let's take it before we're separate. You know, just now we get free medicine here, but they were getting the money from down south.
What do you think about the COP26? Can I ask what your opinion is about the COP26? Like,
Well, they had all
my
this, right?
opinion, like, I'm a bit, like, a wee bit mad. Like, I'm a wee bit confused with it.
We were down here and we saw it, but we saw all these police and all that's getting paid for, and I thought, what a waste of money.
Right.
You know, the police were everywhere. There was probably wasn't just as many police as there were protesters, you know.
Right.
And they had police from down south now, but I think it's just a complete waste of money.
Oh, right.
You know. So I mean,
What's your opinion of COP26 climate?
COP26. COP26. It's completely mad. I just don't agree with it.
What do you mean?
Like COP26.
never
like,
needed it. We never needed it.
You mean it's climate control, climate change is not? It's a myth.
yeah,
It's a myth.
Uh-huh.
It's just bullshit.
It's complete madness.
Is that what it is?
And I've said
So why do you think they're doing all this? Just to the countries around the world and all that. Well, China never came in. Russia never came in. Did any of the ministers come? I don't think they sent anyone.
I don't know what ministers came. I know.
Or unless they came.
I know Bobo came.
Who?
Bobo, Boris.
Oh, aye, Bobo.
Oh, Johnson.
But what I'm saying is, do you think it's a okay? What?
He had to be
so,
that.
I know.
well, it's the same people that say that COVID's a load of shit as well. A lot of people say COVID's all made up.
What's that?
A lot of people say COVID's just made up. It's just a
Yeah,
flu.
a lot of people were saying COVID was made up since day dot, weren't they? A lot of people were saying that COVID was made up since day dot. I thought COVID was made up since day dot. Like, I'm epileptic,
Right.
so I've got a brain injury, and I thought COVID was made up since day dot. Like,
Aye.
it's complete. Whoa, you know what I mean?
A lot of people. I picked a doctor up, right? I'm a taxi driver.
Alright.
I picked a doctor up about a year ago, just about a few months after the COVID lockdown. She says to me, "You got any children?" I goes, "Aye." I had one daughter at the time, and she goes, "Don't get the vaccine." I goes, "How?" She goes, "It's designed to mess up your DNA."
I wasn't going to get it.
She goes, "It's designed to mess up your DNA." That's a doctor.
Population down sort of.
That's a doctor saying that to me.
People have more kids.
She goes, "It's to do with population control." A doctor told me that
Yeah.
in a taxi.
Do you regret getting the vaccine?
No, he-
I've not had it.
Have you not had any?
I'm getting one of them, you know, them fake kingies. The passport. I'm getting 50 quid a shot.
Like, because I'm due to get the next one.
I'm not getting them.
I
I'm
don't
not
want to get this.
I'm not getting it. I'm a fuck. Are you getting it?
Next one.
Nah, well, not just now anyway. See what happens.
No, I'm not getting a vaccine. I'm a fuck.
Now they're saying they're not
Listen,
going to let you in the cafe.
each to their own. If you believe it, then that's fair play. You know what I mean? But I've definitely think there's something fishy going on.
Oh, I know.
Oh, there is definitely
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like what the media tell us,
definitely.
media and government.
Forcing people to take it now.
Okay, let's look at the media. The media, right? They've lied about us so many things in the past few years. The media have lied to us about so many things, like Iraq. Iraq, they say that Saddam Hussein had nuclear bombs.
Right.
He never. Right? And 36 million people marched against the war in Iraq. Right? Because it was based on a lie. Right? Soldiers went over and died. Right? Lost limbs. Right? All that money that was wasted. Right? But on basis of what? Because George Bush said that Saddam Hussein's got nuclear bombs. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've picked people up that have lost brothers and sisters and sons and daughters in Iraq, like soldiers, And they're saying now, it's terrible. I mean, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, the Iraq war was based on a lie.
Well, that man there, like, he was about to see that.
What one?
Like, that man there, like,
Aye.
he looked as though he was, like, in a wee bit, like, itchy, like, a wee bit, like, you know what I mean? Bit twitchy, bit switchy, like.
About what would you think that would have been?
Like, I don't know, you know what I mean?
But do you know what I'm trying to say?
You know, I know what you're I just, like, see when I get into these conversations with people, I just sort of agree with them, like, just to like, sort of let the conversation sort of pass by.
Put it this way, right? Say you had a loved one, right? Went over to Iraq, right? And died.
Well, I've got family members.
But say you had a friend or a friend, and then you found out afterwards that Saddam Hussein never had nuclear bombs. Mm-hmm. How would you feel?
What's that, sorry?
You know when the Iraq war happened?
Yeah.
Right? And say you had a brother, right, that went over to Iraq.
Yeah.
He died.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I'd be devastated.
Right? And you found out afterwards that was based on a lie. Saddam Hussein never had any nuclear bombs.
Alright. Yeah.
Because that's what it was. That's what started the war. Because he had nuclear bombs.
Right.
He never had nuclear bombs. It turned out, right? That's a fact. But how would you feel if your brother died, finding that?
And it wasn't it down.
Aye.
You'd be.
But that's my point. That's my point. That's my point.
You'd be. You know.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
You know.
And I've met people that have had siblings and family members that have died over there. I've spoke to them in a taxi, and they're fucking raging. They're like, we got told a lie by George Bush and Tony Blair.
Well, you can't do it with George Bush. You can't do it with Tony Blair because you know what.
But do you know what I'm trying to say?
That's government too.
You know.
I've met people, right, that have come back from Afghanistan, right, I've met them, like sort of beggars, right, homeless, getting no help from the government. I've got a YouTube channel where I interview a lot of people, like homeless people, and I've met people that have actually done 2 tours of Afghanistan, and the guy was sitting in the central station begging with a cup, and he goes, I got treated like shite, and I fought for the country.
Right.
The government should look after the soldiers.
Aye.
I've got the interview in my channel. Done 2 tours of Iraq and Afghanistan, coming here, sitting here, not a penny at his name, getting no home, getting homeless, getting no accommodation from the government, getting no help, getting PTSD is called, isn't it? Aye. Do you know what I mean? The government should take the fucking get the finger out.
That's it.
If you get soldiers fighting for this country, you should at least get help from the government. It's over the same in America. Ex-servicemen.
What do you think of the situation over in America then?
What do you mean?
Like with see the situation that's going on over in America, like
Something's always going on there. What's going on there now?
Like
When has America ever been normal?
It's crazy up there.
Oh, you mean talking about the Black Lives Matter?
Well, that and like
America's always been controversial.
Racism, shooting people left, right, and centre, and that, you know.
Like,
America's always been like that.
See, I'm talking about like see how because America always try and get Britain to fight their wars.
Oh, right.
Like see that way. Yeah, because like what's your sort of point of view on that?
America and Britain are brothers. They're brothers. They've got all kinds of agreements signed between them. Do you know what I mean? Like, and Britain needs America. America is a superpower. As in, like, militarily, you can't second to none. I mean, what they have, America. I mean, China. They say that China's a superpower, but I mean Russia. But I mean, America's what they have. I mean, their army and all that, the missiles they've got and all that, the technology, and just science. Oh fuck, they've got science. There's something else. They're about 30, 40 years, 50 years ahead of the other countries, to be honest with you. They've got a lot of stuff. And Britain needs, it's like a backup in it. It's like having a friend that's a good fighter. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Say something happened, America will always be there to back Britain up, do you know what I mean?
But see, the thing is, like,
unconditionally.
America always came to Britain to, like, see when it all started with the World Trade Center? Like,
well, that's another one.
Well, see how when it all started with that, America, who were they on the phone to?
Aye.
That was the first point of call.
Well, people say but World Trade Center, that was an inside job as well. People say that was an inside job as well. There were bombs.
Well, it could have been.
Well, I've seen many videos on that. People say it's a conspiracy, but I've seen a lot of videos and they're saying that the World Trade Center was actually a controlled demolition. It was a controlled explosion.
Well, see,
the way the buildings came down.
It was a controlled demolition. Well, does that mean it was a controlled demolition of life then?
Well, I'm not saying that. Many people say that it was an inside job to start the war in Afghanistan. Do
Yeah, that's it.
you know what I mean? And again, everyone's got their own opinion. Some will agree with me, and some will disagree and say, well, no, it wasn't. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, but it just goes to show you that the media can, tell us things that don't exist, and that's it. It's up to us to kind of decide.
That's ITV and that's BBC.
Well, that's it. That's
what they always do.
You know what I mean? And the poor soldiers are going over fighting, risking their lives, away from their families and all that. Do you know what I mean? Based on lies. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's enough of my rant. Before I get any more abuse on YouTube. You know what I mean? I like working with facts.
It's cool.
I don't follow the crowd.
Just because you were standing there, see how when the whole rose thing, I think it's a good thing.
What's that?
See the people putting down a rose.
Aye, no, of course.
It's a fantastic thing.
3 million Commonwealth soldiers actually fought in the war as well.
Aye. People that completely blanket.
Aye.
I think it's just really disrespectful.
Aye.
Really disrespectful.
Well, my grandfather was actually fought as well when he gave the chaps, 1942. That was an Indian, British Indian Army, aye. So he was the captain.
Muslim fought for British Army as well, isn't it?
Well, 3 million Commonwealth soldiers fought for Britain at the time. 3 million in it. The Gurkhas and all that, the British Indian Army, the Caribbean soldiers.
I don't know that much about the Caribbean side and stuff like that.
Aye, they went a lot. There weren't as many as Indian soldiers, but there was more Indian soldiers then.
As a result, they let us live here, so we should respect the country and support the
How
country.
long is that meant to get left there, Pablo?
There you go, Pakistan.
Pakistan flag, Bangladesh, and Scotland.
That's all the countries there.
Yeah.
Pakistan, big
Yeah.
up Pakistan there.
Yeah.
India, Pakistan.
Yeah, that's all about peace and
Yeah.
united. We're all together one,
Yeah, the Sikh soldiers as well. Big up to them.
That's it. There you go. So
Yeah,
it's all about peace and love,
that's
No
it.
divide. It's just like love one another. That's what it's about, And every year, so basically, what happened is last year it was called off. I would normally go to London, but obviously I'm busy with my house clearing up just now. So next year we'll go to London. We'll go down to that one, London's much busier and bigger,
Aye.
We'll be there next year, London, Whitehall. Meet my EDL friends, they'll be all down there.
You're quite popular down there, aren't you?
Oh, aye, I got all the EDL there, always down there for that,
So what's happening with Gerard, man? Let's talk about Gerard.
Well, that was a shock what happened, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Just walked out, it's a shock. Shock what happened, doesn't it?
Just out the...
Alright, no surrender. Where are people? Fuck the Pope.
So out the blue, just left.
Huh?
Out the blue.
Out the blue, aye. Well, that's that. I think obviously the money's down there, isn't it? Than Manchester. In Birmingham. Big money down in England, isn't it? So you got fucked away.
You won't get European football there.
Unless he gets them.
Oh, they've got money. They've got money. The owner's that Egyptian guy.
Yeah, but just now
what's his name?
they're fighting from relegation. Their aim is to keep them, keep them up,
Well, aye.
But
Because he actually did an interview about 2 weeks ago, and somebody asked him, and he goes, I'm not going anywhere. I'm settled in Rangers.
I
I'm happy.
know that.
And just out the blue, he just left.
Yeah. But I think
But
the top.
Rangers, and he's getting a lot of stick online. He's getting a lot of abuse.
Yeah. Well, Rangers fans thought he should have stayed for longer. He said he didn't keep his word. He said I'm going to. He says he signed a 4-year contract, and he says I'm here to see out the 4-year contract, and when I do leave, it'll be for Liverpool. So he never sorted out his contract, and then he left. And it wasn't even Liverpool; it was Aston Villa.
Out the blue, just.
Out the blue, So.
And all the fans are raging, man. 90% of Rangers fans are giving him abuse.
They'll be angry. It's just like Graham Souness all these 30 years ago, They should have stayed. But now he might jeopardise his chance of getting a Liverpool job, because now he's at Villa, right? Unless he can get Aston Villa till about 5th or 6th in the league at least, Liverpool won't go on for him. Because if they stay near the bottom or even get relegated or whatever, then they will say, well, he's not proved himself down there. Then Liverpool will say, what's the point of getting him? If he stayed at Rangers, right, then no matter what happened, even if he didn't win the league here, Liverpool would say, well, man, we still got the money. Bring him here, we'll give him the money, he can actually do something better. So, he's taking a gamble. He's taking a gamble by going down there,
Aye. I mean, over there, the Premier League is just...
It's a bigger league, bigger platform.
Different gravy.
Different grounds, so that's another thing,
I mean, some of the teams there, man, like the top teams at Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, even Liverpool did really well.
Yeah. But again, he's not had the money to spend. If he would have had more money here, he would have probably stayed with Rangers, but Rangers don't have that
Money,
because there's a budget here. The same with Brendan Rodgers a few years ago, you know, the exact same thing.
Well, Rangers have lost that. They said they're down 20 odd million last year for the COVID.
That's right.
25 million or something.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah.
And they were already in debt from being the lower division, so they Rangers had to make up money anyway. So
And the transfer market, they're really going to.
yeah.
So looking like they're going to buy any players in that.
Yeah. So that's it. All came down to
Football is just come to money, isn't it? It's just money.
See, after the Rangers got in Champions League when Malmo, remember they beat us and then we didn't make it through. I think his decision was made at the end that I want to be in the Champions League. It's not happening this season, and money's not there. You know, they could have made money from there, but then obviously Aston Villa chief executive is an old friend of his at Liverpool.
Right.
So he obviously spoke to him and said, look, come on here, we've got plenty of money here. What you need here is money. We can give you. So
And all these Arabs are buying the football teams then. The Russians and Arabs.
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia bought. Is it the
I said we
Newcastle?
can't. And it's television as well. We can't compete with them.
Television, big money.
You know.
Sky and all that.
That's
Yeah,
it.
just money in it.
So that's the problem. You're always top
A
managers.
lot of people were saying a few years ago they started the old firms just maybe play over down in England. They would generate more revenue. I think that'll be better.
It'll be good, but I don't know how much. Where we end up, who knows? But they won't win it.
But I think money-wise, they'll make a lot more money.
They'll get a lot of money, but I don't know how good.
It'll be a good bit of business decision,
I
but
can't see Rangers still winning in the league down there.
no. But I mean, they're midway, like Leeds kind of level. Around about, do you know what I mean? Mid-table. Because
But interested in fans going down England, they'll take a big support down that, you know.
well, Celtic and Rangers both have got a big fan base, so they've definitely got the fans. It's just that.
Yeah.
Aye,
But
so-
then what's left of Scottish football? The Scottish football will be dead then.
That's
The
it.
big two are gone.
Aye.
Who's left?
We just Hibs and Hearts. Mostly
Hibs and Hearts.
Aberdeen.
But it's, there's nothing left here.
Right, I'm hungry. You want to get some grub?
Well, they're doing a thing in the Bristol Bar.
That's right.
For this, we'll go and see them. That's our mistake. We let them in. We let the bad ones in. I mean, the uneducated ones ended up in Scotland. You know, see the ones that were like educated, not the middle class, even in England, there was jobs there. Then we had the ones that did the labour jobs. You know,
Right.
and that's why we ended up with all this. The poor ones came to Glasgow, and the uneducated ones, the bad ones from bad families. You know,
Aye.
I'm not going to say they're all bad, but you got bad ones in there.
Aye,
You know,
bad ones.
and then in Celtic a football club were formed, and then that's why we don't have. You look in English football, you don't have that right hatred between Protestant and Catholic, but you have it here. You know?
Aye.
It's not where people just say we're just Christian. See the Catholics in England. A lot of them like the Queen. They like the Queen.
What, in England?
England. A lot of them don't have an issue with the Queen. See the Catholics.
I don't
down there.
know. I don't know what it's like down in England.
No.
Well, my big sister lives down in England. She stays in London, but she's never actually explained what the thing's like down there.
Yeah. I'm talking about the Catholics who came from Ireland that are now living in England. And most of them don't have an issue with the Queen. But the ones up here, a lot of them have an issue with the Queen. You know. So it's because the ones up here that kind of
usually have
uneducated ones came to Scotland.
Aye.
You know, because the middle class went to England. There was jobs there.
What is your point of view on like the royal family then? Like, do you agree on all the royal family, or is there some of them that you think like could be doing more, if you know what I mean?
Aye, well, I mean,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, some could be doing more.
Aye,
Like you get Harry and Meghan, right? But they wanted to go, of
Aye,
course,
see what I mean,
in
like
America,
they-
and that, you know.
Aye.
But then that's their personal choice.
So do you think Diana got
I'm
assassinated?
Eh?
Do you think she got assassinated, Diana?
Diana.
Or do you think that was an accident?
What do you think about Diana? Did crash at heart in Paris? Was it?
Mohammed al-Fayed saying that Philip got assassinated, the Duke,
I don't know the situation.
because she was going to marry a Muslim guy.
Well, I don't know.
That was like
I don't know what's behind that. You know?
That was when I was younger, apparently. That was
97? 97, September 97.
I was only born in 94.
Right.
I don't know that much about it, if you know what I mean. But
Well, she was going to be Mohammed al-Fayed's son, Dodi al-Fayed. And because he's a Muslim guy, Egyptian, and she was pregnant, I don't know, getting married, and they thought, that can't happen. You know what I mean? That can't happen. So,
I don't know, it might have been.
but then Harry goes and marries a mixed race girl. You know what I mean? Goes over, goes had that
What
with
do
the royal
you think
family.
about the Diana thing?
Oh, it was an inside job.
Aye.
Inside job. If you know the facts about the whole case,
Aye.
Was it the France and all, they're all the secret services, they're all one, mate.
Oh.
America, the CIA,
I don't know that much about it, but
they're all one. They're all one, bud. He got what? She was going to be a Pakistani guy, right? A doctor. He was a surgeon.
All right.
Diana. A few years before that.
Oh, was she?
Right. His name was Dr. Hasnat. And he was working over in London, and he was a heart surgeon. So she was madly in love with him. She wanted to marry him.
Aye.
And then he was going out with her, and he got a call.
Aye.
Right, a call. And he goes, listen, stay away. Right. But he took the warning. He goes, right. He told her, listen, I don't want to die. Right.
Aye.
He actually said this in an interview. He admitted it. And then he the Secret Service left him alone. He goes, right, I want nothing to do with you. Dodi Al-Fai got the same call a few years later. He goes, I don't give a fuck.
Aye.
Right, I love Diana. Right, that's it. I'm going to marry her.
Aye.
And then a few months later, you know what happened.
You know what
You know what I mean?
happened, she's away.
But then people say that the chauffeur died as well. And
the guy
the was driving the... So I don't know. So people say, why would the chauffeur die?
I know,
In an
that's
accident.
a bit strange, isn't it?
There's a lot of things that don't add up.
Aye, that's
A lot of things don't add up. Again, it's what you believe.
I don't know. I don't know.
What do you think about it?
I don't know. I'm
Oh, you do know, come on.
I don't really know.
He's got a...
You do know, come on.
They don't tell me these things. I can only guess.
I've just got an opinion on everything.
I know you're right.
I've just got an opinion on everything.
Nah, I don't know what it is. It's happened as that. I don't know.
But listen, rest in peace, Diana. She's in heaven.
Aye.
Great person.
She was a nice, she did a lot of charity work.
She's a lot of charity work.
She was a nice person.
A very genuine person. I love to meet. I never met her. I watch a lot of her interviews. Great, brilliant, beautiful person.
Aye.
Very, very nice person. Done a lot for charity. Always.
Does Queen have anything against her? Because I've heard a lot of things, like, in saying what I've heard, like, apparently the Queen was not, it's not that she wasn't happy about her, but, like, well, it is that she wasn't happy about her.
Do you know what it was? Because Charles was involved in having an affair with Camilla. Queen's obviously taking the side of her daughter, and then she was against establishment and all that, and then she was doing her own thing, and then, do you know what I mean? Like that.
Aye. Right.
But, like,
It's only natural that Sport Rangers are team pro-British. When you're pro-British, when you got the other half of Glasgow, it's anti-British.
I know, you've got to
And
be.
they hate the Queen, they had the IRA terrorist
Don't
attacks.
start again, mate.
But at the end of the
Don't
day,
start again.
people ask you the question, why do you end up supporting Rangers? I goes, look, if you're proud to be British,
I know,
like we are,
don't
then
start again.
it's, when Rangers play
Look,
Celtic,
he's recording now, look.
when Rangers play
It's all
Celtic,
good, bro.
it's Britain versus Ireland. But I'm not Irish, I'm British.
I know.
I have no connection with Ireland, so then you're only going to support Rangers,
Aye,
you know?
I know.
So,
This is going straight on the YouTube channel, Six Pack. So check it out.
put down six-pack Abdul
It's
Rangers.
nearly a million views now. Hitting nearly a million views now. The channel. It's doing well.
Is it?
Aye.
Is that what it's doing?
I've only started doing the channel for about a year now.
Aye.
There you go, sir.
Alright, how you doing? No surrender. Let's
Alright, mate. Aye. It's doing well. Abdul's very popular on the channel.
Aye. Well, why not? Like, why not? But it's, you know what? I don't even.
Aye.
No, why not?
Listen, freedom of speech.
I know.
We live in a country where we can say what we want.
That's it.
Freedom of speech, obviously, as long as it's limited, we don't offend anybody.
You don't say anything bad. You
Aye.
just speak your mind.
Yeah.
Speak your mind.
Exactly. That is it. You're speaking what you think.
And that's why these soldiers died for that cause. Do you know what I mean? For us to be free. Do you know what I
You're
mean?
speaking against the haters, the hate in the back. You're
No,
thinking,
I wouldn't say it's the hate. I wouldn't say it's you're hating them. I just
No,
think
no,
it's
you're speaking against
point, your point of view, and
You're speaking
it's my
against
point
what-
of view.
yeah.
I don't hate them. It's just my point of view. I don't hate anybody. I'm not saying I
no,
hate
you're
them.
against the haters that are causing the problems. You're against what's going on. Yeah. You want peace.
Aye, exactly.
Aye. That's what thought united. We're all one. So why hate? Why kill one another? We're all one. And if you live in what is it?
Yeah.
Chips and bacora.
No, chicken tikka and chips.
Alright, chicken tikka. Alright.
Do you like it?
That's alright.
Try it out.
Right.
What do you think?
Right.
Out of 10?
9.5.
9.5. Let's talk about Gerard. What happened?
Suddenly walked out, didn't he? got more money down in there to spend. He thought he enhances his career. So he went for a lot down there.
Out the blue.
Fans were angry.
Getting a lot of views online.
Oh, yeah.
Calling him a rat.
Because the way he just walked out in the middle of the season, you know, he should have stayed longer. He signed a 4-year contract and he said, I'm going to stay for my 4-year contract, I'm going to see it out. When I do leave, I'll leave for Liverpool. But it's because he went to Villa. He never kept his word.
Wasn't loyal to the club.
That's it, wasn't loyal in it. So that's where people are angry.
I think it comes down to money as well, because I think he would probably want to buy more players, challenge in Europe. And I thought, because Rangers are struggling at the moment financially.
They don't have the money. So down in England, he was told you can get more money to spend. So he went for that.
He done well, Rangers. I mean, 3 years of Rangers.
He done well with what he had. You know, he stopped 10 in a row. He did what he had to do. So you've got to look at it that way as well.
I mean, last year Rangers played really well. Last year in Europe.
We never lost a game in the league, you know, and we won the league, so as early as March. You know, at least he wasn't a complete failure. He done what he had to do.
He done really well.
You know, so you need to look at what he did do.
How do you think he'll be remembered, the Rangers, years to come?
I think in time people would just forget about it. You know, it's like Brendan Rodgers walking in Celtic. In time people just forget about it. You know,
People that had the Steven Gerrard cutouts, they were actually
burning
them. We've got one as well, but what would you do to it?
I don't know. You got me that.
Well, you don't have that kind of hatred for him. Obviously, you like the guy, but he done what he had to do.
He did what he had to do, you know. I wouldn't go and burn something like that, you know.
I mean, he'll always be a legend. I mean, a football player, like what he done for Liverpool and all that, captain. So,
I've always had a soft spot for Liverpool as well. Anyway,
so Gerard's watching his video. What message you got for him? Well, I'm sure he is watches your videos.
Thanks for stopping 10 in a row. That's the main thing, you know. And wish him all the best, you know. Maybe one day we'll get the Liverpool job.
And
remember him for what he did do.
Sing a wee Gerrard song then to close it off.
One Stevie Gerrard. There's only one Stevie Gerrard. One Stevie Gerrard. One Stevie Gerrard. No surrender.
More grub. Check it out. Right, we're having a grub. Enjoy.
Well, that's a chicken tikka.